Welcome to Source of Information. My name is Gilbert Franklin. You could always reach me at 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885. We have a lot of things to talk about, and we're going to get started right away. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And first, I would like to start with, I'm constantly getting questions about early retirement. So I want to cover early retirement for a little while, and then we'll talk about other benefits that comes along with that also. I am at studio live right now. You could always catch me right here on YouTube and Facebook, WSRF 1580 AM. Both on YouTube and Facebook. On YouTube, you could make sure you press subscribe so you could receive the show every time we are on the air. We are constantly coming up with new information, with important information regarding retirement benefits, regarding Social Security. So always stay tuned and share it with with a friend. I cannot overemphasize that enough because the importance of you sharing this information with others makes a great difference, and not only in your life, in other people's lives too. So let's discuss. Earlier, I received a call from a listener, and this person, full retirement age is 67 years, but this person decided that they will take their early retirement at the age of 62. And and although she's been, although the person's been listening, I guess the full part that I've made a couple of times saying she, obviously tells you guys that it's a woman, that it's a woman that I'm referring to. So 62, I do not recommend that you take early retirement at 62 because the amount that you would be receiving, if I check to give in order to give you the exact amount, um, when you take an early retirement at the age of 62, bear in mind that for those of you guys, because right now, 59 years, the people that was born in 1959 are turning 65 this year. 60 years turning are turning 65 next year. So you basically have 5 more years ahead of you. So about roughly about 60 checks that you're going to receive above everybody else that's taking their retirement at full retirement age. So that's why that they have to recalculate your benefits because you're receiving 60 plus checks. So at the age, if you're taking it, for those of you guys that's, we're going to concentrate on those of you guys that was born in 1960 and up. Your full retirement age is 67. However, the percentage that if you take it at 72 is 70%. Let me not trying to get fancy. Let me put on my glasses so I could give it to you exactly how it is. So if you take it at the age of 62, you're going to get 70%. At the age of 63, it's 75%. It really start making a difference once you start taking at the age of 64, where it goes up to 80%. So from that point on, every year that you didn't take your benefits, it goes up to 6%. Up until if you decide at the age of your full retirement age where you're getting 100%, and if you wait till 70, some of you may be able to do it, some of you may not. Then it's at 124%. So bear in mind that, always remind that at the age of 62, it's going to be 70%. And that goes from anyone that was born from 1960 on up. Now, to give you guys a little bit background information on this, it was under President Reagan back in 1986 that they quietly changed the retirement age, and without making a big fanfare about it. And we didn't really start knowing about it till about 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, that's when now we start talking about retirement. Full retirement age is 66. Then the following years it went to 2 months, and now we're looking at this year. Anybody that's retiring this year that was born in 1959 is 66 in 10 months. Next year we won't be talking about 66 in 10 months. We'll be talking about 67. So when you take an early retirement, what happened is this. We're gonna cover all the steps, all anything that could affect you. I don't think that the only thing that's affecting you negative is the fact that you're only getting 70%. But the positive aspect of that is that you are getting more checks. Now, there's two reasons why anyone would decide to take an early retirement. I have some of my friends that, one particular friend that was working for MTA in New York, he took his retirement early, although not his Social Security, because he's not at the age of 62 for him. Well, he'll be 62 this year. Actually, he just turned 62. Now that I'm thinking about it, he just turned 62 this month, and surely he's going to take he's going to take an early retirement. Now, in his case, he's getting a pension, and he's going to collect the early retirement from Social Security. In a case like that, then I don't have an argument for that, because I know this individual well. He started working at a younger age, and now at the age of 62, he could collect his retirement benefits, and he would be receive a good retirement. If I have to estimate, that he will be well in the range of probably $3,000, $4,000 a month. So plus his retirement. So somebody like this, they could take their retirement and not really, it doesn't affect them negatively. Now let's talk about the average people that they get in a retirement from Social Security that's about 800, 900, maybe 1,000. When you take it at 62, those people, their option is limited. For the simple reason, now, once you start getting a certain age and your health, some of us are blessed with good health. Some of us, we don't have good health. So now our body is saying, wait a minute, I cannot continue to go on. And so now you have to consider taking early retirement. So that's one type of individual that would decide to take early retirement at the age of 62. And that type of person, there's nothing you could tell them differently to convince them to do otherwise. Nothing you could do to say, well, no, why don't you change your mind? Take it at the age of 65. you know, that's why I gave you guys the different numbers. You see, if you take it at 65, you're already up at 280% because the number of checks that you'll be receiving is less. You have another person, they just plain outright sick and they just can't work anymore. Now, the option is to go for disability. However, once they apply for disability and they're at the age to receive Social Security, then they're going to deny the disability and send them to get Social Security benefits instead. And now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense because if you, at the age of 62, it's going to take about 6 to 8 months to process the application. So in actuality, you're going to be on disability for 4.5 years. 4.5 years, 5 years. For those of you that's for retirement age is 67. Because remember, with disability, once you reach your retirement age, then it changed from disability to Social Security benefits. So they will deny you if you are anywhere in the area of retirement age, because then they'll suggest that you go apply for retirement benefits. Now, for those of you that's going to continue to work, the income amount is 22,000. I would say 22,258. I might be off by a few dollars there. So that means that for every dollars that you make above 22,000, for every $2 you make, they're gonna hold $1 for you. So let's give you an example so that you'll be able to understand it better. Let's say you made, instead of 22,000, you made 32,000. So now they're gonna hold back 5,000 from you, and the way they're gonna get that is by taking it from your Social Security benefits. But when they take it from your Social Security benefits, in other words, let's say, for example, you're receiving $1,000 a month. So the first 5 months will go back into Social Security benefits, which it would reflect that you made, instead of 22, you made 32,000. So they are basically gonna. There's two things going to happen. First, they're going to put that 5,000 back into your benefits, so it'll represent that you've actually contributed 27,000 to Social Security, and they're going to collect one. You know, this is the first time I'm bringing this point up. They're going to collect basically Social Security benefit 1.29%. Of that will go to Social Security. Of course, they're going to collect the Medicare. So it will represent that you've contributed $27,000. That was your income for that year. And of course, they're going to write you a letter to say, well, we made a mistake in calculating your benefits, and so this is the amount that you should be receiving. So you'll get an increase. Now, I've been receiving quite a few calls this past week that some of you did not get any increase or did not receive any letter of an increase. And I'm not talking about the increase that everybody is receiving. I'm talking about the increase based on your the additional amount above additional amount. Well, hold up. During your retirements, you work, so you're contributing to Social Security. So your Social Security income should go up, but some of you, they have not given you guys the increase. Now, what I suggest to everyone is to do is make sure, first of all, that the tax person that you are using is reliable, and you could go to that person and have them print your tax report for 2020, 21, 22, whenever it was. They're able to go back and print it for you if you don't have it. You should. After they file the tax for you, they will give you a hard copy for your file. And if you don't have it, you misplace it, you could always go back to them and they'll give you a copy. So let's say, for example, for the past 5 years, they have not given you an increase. Maybe they did not get the report from Social Security, what have you. So what you have to do is take your income tax form and go to the Social Security Bureau and present it to them so they could manually input it. Now, it could be that manually it was already inputted, so you're just basically going to compare with them for 2020. This is how much you made, 21, 22, 23, 24. So it'll basically listed that. And if they haven't paid you or give you an increase for those years, then they'll make the adjustment, and they'll start sending you a check, and you will receive your increase. It's your money. You should receive it. So as you work, and I get the question, how much am I allowed to make? I don't particularly like that word, allowed, because you could make whatever the amount that you want, providing that you have the job, you have the ability to make that amount of money. I've sat down and talked to people that tell me that they work in 2 jobs. And my response to them is, how do you do it? And I told a colleague one time that I can't see how people work 2 jobs. And she responded to me and said, well, Gilbert, you've been doing it as long as I know you. And I had to really sit down and think, and I realized that, yeah, I have been doing it. So the line is open for you guys if you have any question. 305-945-1580. 305-945-1580. The line is open for you. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Give me a reason why you want to take your benefits early, and risk the fact that you will receive a reduced amount. And remember, for every year that you do not take your benefit, it increased to 6.5%. So up till the age of 70. Therefore, there's reason for you not to retire early. Now, can you stay the course? And even if you don't, whether you change job, you change career, or you pace yourself so that you could stay in the game for a little bit longer. Because the question that I usually get from anyone that's retiring early is that when I reach my full retirement age, will they give me that money back? You don't have any money for you to get back because you are receiving your full amount from the back end. You're getting 60 checks additional to what you were supposed to receive. So that's something to take into consideration. I'm going to take a quick break. You will return shortly after a quick water break. Listen to Source of Information on 1580 AM.
In the name of Jesus, there is power in the name of Jesus to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain, to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. Oh, sufficient sacrifice, so freely given, such a price bought. Our redemption, heaven's gates swing wide.
I did say it was going to be a quick break, so I'm going to keep true to my words. So let's continue with the same conversation. Early retirement. Is it good for you? Should you wait? And the person that I spoke with earlier was one of the questions that I asked that person, that individual, was that would you be able to sustain your life with the amount that you'll be receiving? I didn't know how much she was receiving. I don't have her records in front of me. But she knew how much that she would be receiving because she received a letter that's an estimate of how much you'll be receiving. So she definitely told me she can. And I take my hat off to her because one thing is that you know your limitation. You have reached a limit that physically that you can't continue. So, but I want you to have all the necessary information that you need before you made that decision to move forward with retirement. The question now is, are you going to work? Are you going to continue working? And if so, how many hours? And that's neither here or there because you most likely you're working, you're going to be making less than 22,000, or at 22,000, then it's not going to have an effect. They're not going to hold back any money from you. (305) 945 1580 305 945 1580. Let me hear from you. 305 945 1580. The line is open. Now, once you reach the age of 66, I believe, then at the age of 66, you could make as much as $55,000 and you will not be penalized. However, if you make above 55,000, for every $3 you make, then they're going to hold back $1. So now, my question is, if you're making $55,000, you're not thinking about retiring. Then again, it depends on the type of work that you're doing, because then you may decide you want to retire, enjoy, and just enjoy the rest of your life. And I've run into quite a few people retiring, and then you find them in the Caribbean, somewhere quiet and just enjoying life. That could be you. But if that's not you, then yes, the information is there for you at the age of 55, at the age of the year that you turn 66, you could make as much as $55,000, and they will not hold any money back. However, anything above 55,000, for every $3 you make above 55,000, then they're going to hold back $1 for you until you reach the full retirement age. So in other words, for those of you that's retiring at full retirement is at the age of 67, then the year that you turn 66, you could work making $55,000, and they won't hold back. And the year you turn 67, then you could make 60, 100, 160, 200, as much as you could possibly make. Now, let's talk about another subject that I think it's worth really make sure that you have that information also. Last week we were talking about different benefits that accompany your Medicare, so you could get the type of plan that you have. You could get a rich plan where it will take care of all your needs medically. And now the plans are getting more creative because they are including OTCs, over-the-counter medication. They are including a meal card in there. Creative to the point where it's affecting the medical centers. So what happened now, they're going to have to roll back some of these benefits that you've been receiving. They're going to have to roll them back. Let's wait to see in October what's going to happen, because if the inflation is still high, then sure enough you will be receiving a cost of living adjustment in the following year. But they have to consider whether they with the cost of living, of course the Part B for Medicare is going to go and increase to $185. So those are a lot of things that's on the table, and a lot of consideration has to be given, because the impact that it will have on a lot of people. 305-945-1580. Let me hear you. 305-945-1580. So the cost of living adjustment, that's a news that in a few months that we'll be receiving. by any measure that we believe that they may increase it by 2%. Don't even call me and ask me to calculate the 2% for you right now. If you get one thing I could tell, if they increase it, if you're getting $1,000, a 2% represent $20. So let's wait and see how much that will be increased. And if it's 2%, a lot of you guys will not see the increase. I have a friend that when they give the 3.2%, she said to me, well, I didn't see the increase. I'm like, how could you not see the increase? And then she explained to me, she told me, well, my Medicare Part B premium sucked all that increase. Because the people that's making a certain income, their Part B premium is much higher than $174.70. So yes, they got an increase, but the increase was taken by the Part B premium, which for a lot of you, you guys don't see that, you don't feel it because you have Medicaid. So it's one of the benefits that's out there that's utilized along with your Medicare Advantage plan so that you don't feel the high cost of health insurance. Because when you put the Medicaid along with it, Medicaid covers a lot of co-payment, co-insurance, and deductibles. And when you put the low income subsidies in there, which covers you for a portion of your medication, a lot of you guys don't realize it. A lot of you guys don't realize it. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. So there's various tools we could use. We could use Medicaid. We could use the Medicare saving program. We could use the low income subsidy. So those three tools, along with the Medicare Advantage plan, which costs you absolutely nothing. So all four of those items, we could use it with the Medicare, which will facilitate you now to get on a plan that's basically you're not paying anything. And second of all, that will cover all your medical costs at zero to you. Zero copayment, zero deductible, zero. One thing we used to love when we sit down, which we're pitching to a client, and we just went straight to the point. Everything is zero. Everybody listen. Everybody understands zero. If anything goes wrong, they say, "Well, Gilbert, you said zero. Why is this in there?" Well, when we said zero, we mean zero. So usually, and we will, there's been time that they would go to a specialist, and when I mean by they, our patients, they would go to a specialist, and if they have a copayment, they say, "Well, Gilbert said I would not, if I have a copayment to call them, I shouldn't have any copayment." And yes, they would call me, and then I would be on the phone with the office manager and clarify that this person should not have any copayment. And sure enough, after they look at this person's record, they said, "You're right. They shouldn't have any co-payments." 305-945-1580. 305-945-1580. I don't know. I'm not getting any calls from you guys. And the fun thing about doing this show is when I hear from you. So if you have a question and you wanna ask it in Creole, the line is open for you as well. So don't hesitate. If there's something that I explained that you don't understand, don't hesitate to call. So remember, you could always find us right here, 1580 AM, WSRF 1580 AM, on YouTube and Facebook. So go on there right now live and subscribe. Subscribe. Okay? So we talked about we talked about briefly about the cost of living adjustment. So everybody should stand by October 13th that they will announce whether you're going to receive an increase. Now, by all indication that you will receive an increase. Now, it's a matter of how much of increase that you're going to receive. I'm guessing that it's going to be somewhere around the 2%. Around the 2%. So we believe that, and it may be that the inflation, they make certain adjustment, and it may be that you're at 2% right now. We're not holding our breath, but it may be that. And by every indication that they have, that the next time that the boards meet, the Federal Reserve Board, that even the interest, that they will drop the interest rate and follow suit the following months. So stay tuned. October 13th will let you know exactly which direction they're going in terms of cost of living adjustment. But remember, anywhere that you go, in any office that you go, there's certain office that they don't have the resource to file for certain benefits for you. We do. And in an interview, what we will do is ask you for household income. And we're going to realize that whether you're eligible for these benefits. Whether you're eligible for Medicaid, whether you're eligible for food stamp, whether you're eligible for Medicare saving program, and we're going to apply for these benefits for you. Me, you could always reach me at 954-667-4885. 954-667-4885. You could schedule an appointment, and then we'll get you to the office, and we file for those benefits for you on your behalf. That's good. Another benefits that I believe that you should have, and I had a couple in the office yesterday, and when I asked them how much they were making, I believe the husband was making about 8 and change, and the wife was making 3 and change. So what immediately when I hear that, my next step is to ask them whether they are a U.S. citizen, and they said yes. So my next step to them is say, well, after this we'll have a discussion. But as we go into the process, then I find out that they don't want to stay in the United States too long. So they come to the U.S., spend a couple of weeks, a month at the very least, and then they go back. And you don't see them for another 6 or 7 months. The problem is that the airfare is so expensive, they tell you they can't afford to come here every 2 months. So for those people, we have make certain adjustment because they're not going to be qualified for SSI. So what we have to do is call Social Security and no, let's roll back. Let's roll back. Not necessarily call Social Security, but in a case like that, remember when you're on a plan, the plan do not allow you to be out of your coverage area for more than 6 months. So the suggestion that I made to them, they have to come back in the state every 6 months, or at least once a year, to get covered, to see their doctor. And meanwhile, the medication that they're going to be needing on a monthly basis, then the person that received it could always send that medication to them. Because what we find is that a lot of people go to Haiti. When they go to Haiti, they don't take their medication. When they come back very sick. I remember when my dad used to go down there and say, well, when I get down there, I don't take the blood pressure medication. The blood pressure no longer exists. It's there. It's just that you haven't measured it. You haven't take the blood pressure to see that it's high. But it's there. It may be one day you wake up or you're not feeling too well and said, get me back in the United States. I need to come back fast because I'm not feeling well. But that was the suggestion that I gave them, to come in at least once a year. Now, the vast majority of you guys may not fall into that category, and that's good. You should see your doctor on a regular basis. I think for the year, a minimum of 4 times. And if you want to see him more, then that's fine. We could make arrangement for that. So we made the adjustment, and we want to make sure that you get your medication. We talk about, for the remainder time that I have left, pretty shortly, I have a first call. Let me take that first call. Hello, you on the air.
Hello, bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Yeah. Yeah, Gilbert, show là, on bel show. Même si moun yo parle, mais y a plutôt attentivement. OK. Une question pour vous.
OK.
OK. Kounia actuellement là, en septembre, on fait 61. L'autre année, on fait 72 ans.
OK.
Social Sécurité dit, si vous remettre moi à 62 ans, là, vous avez $1,233 chaque mois.
OK.
OK. Mais vous parlez de $22,000 qu'on supposé prendre sous pour retirement là.
Non, non,
Et
non.
pour qu'à travailler pas plus que $22,000, avec change.
Right.
OK. Est-ce que dans $22,000 ça, il y a toujours voyé, si vous mettez $22,000 par année, mais il y a toujours voyé $1,233 bon, oui?
Yes. Soit travail,
Ou bien,
ou fait $22,000. Ça, c'est comme pas. Ou a toujours.
ça, c'est comme...
Yes, c'est quoi vous travail pour lui.
OK.
Songez qu'il y a pris un taxe sur lui pour faire pour social sécurité. Il y a pris un corps pour Medicare. Ça, c'est comme pas. 1200 et quelques quoi pour recevoir. OK? Ça, c'est
Oui.
comme on va toujours continuer à recevoir. Now, on dit que Kounia, au lieu de $22,000, on fait $32,000.
OK.
So, Kounia, ça veut dire que, sur chaque $2 fait en plus, je vais $1 pour vous. So, ça veut dire que vous faites $10,000 en plus. Kounia, vous prenez Kimbe, m'utilisez le mot Kimbe.
Oui.
Vous prenez Kimbe $5,000 pour vous. So, Kounia, vous prenez refléter que vous faites $27,000. Excusez-moi,
OK.
$37,000. Il va refléter que vous faites $37,000. Kounia, taxe vous prenez pour social sécurité, hein? Vous prenez pour un taxe basé sur $37,000.
Oh, OK. Je comprends. Mhm.
Kounia qui va refléter dans l'augmentation que vous prenez là, dans la prochaine année, hein? Qui pral y a écrit pour dire bon ils font erreur sur montant que tu as supposé recevoir au lieu de temps mais combien il supposé y si vous pral additionner peut-être vous pouvez additionner en 15 ou $20 sous montant.
OK. OK. Ah ouais, je comprends ça. Alors, ça vient arriver, il y a un pile de monde qui voulait prendre retirement. Il n'y a pas retirement là, ça prend. Il y a un pile sickness là dans tout, malade, j'en ai pas ça là.
Exactement,
Donc, il
exactement.
force, mon par exemple, quand même la force, me faire à 72 ans. Mais c'est pas voulu me faire, but sometimes il est très très dur en même temps au travail et puis il finit ou des maladies qui ont diagnostiquées ou c'est obligé de prendre. Donc c'est là pour le gouvernement de supposer un petit jambes à lui. C'est que je ne pas prendre du fait que je en bonne santé, je prendre du fait que la santé n'est pas confortable. Vous comprenez?
Bon, on dit que Dieu merci que l'île là, que vous pouvez prendre, et ou même, il paraît-il que vous avez longtemps à travailler, parce que si vous arrivez à l'âge de 62 ans pour jeune montant ça, non seulement façon que vous travaillez là tout, parce que il y a un pile monde que nous ignorons faire ça, il y a un pile monde, c'est 2 jobs vous fait. So,
Okay.
l'on fait 2 jobs là, en 10 ans, bon, pas même 10 ans, en 5 ans, on rentre en travail, on gagne suffisamment de crédit pour 10 ans.
OK.
Et
OK.
comme là c'est doublé. So, chapeau bas pour les gens qui fait de travail. Et puis, of course, they are arrivés dans un certain âge. Quoi dit, ou abuser suffisamment, qu'on y a faut prendre un break.
OK. OK. Merci pour réponse là. Par contre, je m'a dit, vous êtes m'a dit bon travail, mais chaud là, il est très très bon toujours côté, il bon en pile. Pour un pile monde t'a essayé écouter parce que il y a un pile monde qui ont des social sécurité, retirement, mais tu pas vraiment comprendre ça lié.
Exactement,
Merci.
exactement. Merci pour l'appel, merci pour l'écoute.
OK, merci.
OK, bye bye. Allô, ou dans l'air?
Monsieur Gilbert, comment est-ce?
Mon forme, qui j'en ai?
Mon cher, grâce à Dieu, merci mon Dieu, est-ce que l'on va toujours? Mon cher, on s'est question quoi et puis, Baptiste mon père.
Pas de problème.
Mon cher, j'ai 69 ans pour y a même, je prends même à la 65.
OK,
Je travaille 10 ans, je travaille pour crédit 10 ans dans le pays.
OK,
Et moi, ce qui n'a pas parlé. Même si la travaille toujours, il y a la fait les jobs, yon semen de sa.
Sorry to hear
Eske
that.
koun ya la, mga kousi, ha?
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. But sa ive yon pa.
Okay.
Koun ya la mali unemployment, mapen aplike unemployment.
Good.
Eske yon ka mali yon report si, na social security ya, eske mana job la kon.
Non, 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 non. Ou pa ganyen pou reporte ba yo parce que ou pral reço premièrement, unemployment benefits là, son corps kap sorti de assurance, c'est pour un nombre de temps que lié. Assurance travail là. Assurance travail que ou te la dan là. So pa ganyen pour rapporter le ba social sécurité.
Ok.
OK? Social security simply, yeah, you simply go ahead. OK. Yeah, fais ça. Fais ça, très important. Et l'autre barre que unemployment capital do tout pour ba preuve que vous cherchez travail.
Oui, of course. Pendant que je parle avec vous, c'est un job, monsieur, là. Et puis, je dis qu'il y a une interview, mais peut-être qu'il y a une chance pour moi, même on n'a pas maintenant même tout.
Bon, Dieu merci que vous avez recevoir retirement benefits. So, kounya révocation que vous avez là, il y a l'autre dimension.
Oui.
Il y a l'autre dimension. L'autre jeune, kounya, ça arrivé, il semble un bail qui catastrophique.
Mon cher, exactement, mais comme mon choix, les pampils, et mon bâtiment, les notables, sont difficiles d'agailler qui fait que je vais les jobs là, je veux dire. C'est difficile d'agailler que, si pas de mais moi, si les 7 points, c'est pour le pape.
OK.
C'est pour le parce que mon côté qui m'a déposé des 3 côtes de mer. Et puis, on est 4 juillet, il y a un trafic downtown, pendant le bistay.
Yeah.
Ami, même quand on va dans coucher à l'hôtel, on va déposer mon nom. C'est comment on côté avec la tendance, mon cap de l'avion. Et puis, on va faire là, l'autre, il descend là, où il y a pour vivre carré en hôtel là. Puis, bon, on va faire ni à droite, ni à gauche, dans le mi-temps, mais de temps en temps, une fois, on va dans le mi-temps, il y a une ville, c'est tel point. Mais c'est Gilbert, moi, je pense que je suis beaucoup de Miami Police. Parce que dans l'Est, aller dans l'Ouest. Et puis pendant que l'île se construit, même il n'y a aucune ligne sur cette liste. Nous sommes des tickets. Chaque ticket est à $179. Même à la pour le ticket, dans le pour lui, parce que c'est la même qui fait trafic, parce que tout le monde qui fait trafic là.
Yeah.
Après, ma petite compagnie, pour l'autre machine, va venir sur les pour pas frapper. Et ou même, on fait tout pour pas frapper machine. Bon, mon ne laisse pas consommer. Il se dit que les sont révoqués. À la vérité, les gens vont aussi et test comme ça poser dans licence ça ils te permet. Et puis on a la licence, je ne sais pas connaître si nerveux, je dis que vous avez dit comme ça haïtien, je dis que c'est le bien passé. Vous avez peut-être ligne sur cette moi tout le monde a bon passé. Moi je me décider pour ça. C'est que je pas travailler pour tout comprendre mon petit cœur.
Yeah.
Bon, comme c'est ça que vous diriger le hiver, mais
c'est comme ça. C'est comme ça le supposé arriver.
Exactement, monsieur.
Merci pour l'appel. Merci pour l'appel. Merci pour l'écoute. Kemela, pas quitter ça dérange.
Oui, c'est exactement. Merci à tout le tour parce que m'a pris les matins de tout. Je suis content parce que vous m'avez bénéficié. Merci à vous.
Okay, bye. All right. Thank you, everyone who called. I didn't have time to translate it in English. But let me tell you something. When I hear that Creole, it's good. It's good. For those of you, I apologize for those of you who did not understand the question. I didn't have time to respond to the question. I'll see you next time. I love you guys. A bientôt. Bye bye.
Across the highest desert, I'll travel near or far for your glory. I will do anything just to see to behold you as my King. For your glory, we need your glory.